All right, Halloween is coming, even though it's not October yet, but it's a early, it's an early Halloween from Canada with Rue Morgue. Okay, actually, this, it sounds like I'm making fun of things. I'm just looking at it. There's actually a lot of good stuff in here, so I don't feel like I'm just buying this and wasting my money. There actually is always a lot of useful things in here, and there's interesting things that come through, despite the fact that it's totally a corporate, leftist, government funding magazine. You know. Paganism has historically been viewed in two ways: a terrifying and demonic cult, or earth-positive celebration of nature. Uh, it makes a good point here about England, America, the Anglosphere, right? The old ways, they're often depicted as the source of the horror, right? Where in many, here we go, non-white cultures, the old belief systems were a source of empowerment. Okay, they protect against the thing that is causing the horror. Yeah, because why? Because England, America, Australia, these are Christian nations. Okay, horror is a pagan reflex. So, when you see a horror film from, let's say, Japan, like Kwaidan, Onibaba, or any other country, yeah, there is no Christianity, which also means there is no what? What comes out of Christianity, despite what everyone wants to tell you? The Enlightenment, okay? The separation of the supernatural and the natural into separate worlds. Okay, you don't have that in these older culture countries that didn't get hit with Christianity to do that, to negate that. Regardless of if they modernize, it's hard to understand, to get that across, right? Right. And of course, the reverse, okay? The reverse here, where the British and American folk horror, the fear isn't of a creature in the woods, it's the fear of those people who believe in the creature in the woods, right? So the Christian thing is also, it's geared against the pagan, but it also is geared against itself, where belief in anything is obviously insane, okay? The cult narratives, you know. And so we go to this, let's see what they're talking about here. I like this. It's worth considering the pagan element are not always cast as the bad guys. If you look at Witchfinder General, the more urban film Red State, it is Christianity which is cast in the bad light. Okay, which is funny because all these the critiques of this come from, ironically, the self-negating Christianity, which is in opposition to the pagan. It's very interesting. I mean, that's my spin on it. So I'll join the discussion here in spirit. The guy here makes a good point though about the Wicker Man, right? Yeah, what a great film, man. Edward Word, man. So many good movies that guy was in, and he was in one of the greatest '80s shows, The Equalizer. Anyway, let me shut up. Yeah, the guy's a jerk. He's a jerk and a very pious Christian, but in the end, he is the hero of the story. He's trying to rescue a girl, okay, who's missing and in danger, and his heroism is used to trap him for a horrible fate. However, he redeems himself by living out his faith and being bestowed an honor that most dead Christians, empty Christianity doesn't even have today, which is to become an actual martyr. Okay, great scene. What an acting scene, when he's preaching to the pagans as he's about to die. Okay, mind you, of course, I could be revisionist too. I still think the Wicker Mans were Roman propaganda, but maybe they weren't. I don't freaking know. I wasn't there. My DNA was there, but I wasn't there. Get it? So, something cool here. This is interesting. The White People. Oh, the White People by Arthur Machen, which is essentially a prose poem, very much in the decadent frame, although Mackin was not one of them, in terms of living his life that way. The White People is amazing. It's like a prose poem. It's got it's really, really good, and it's read by the actress from Blood and Satan's Claw. I think with some music in the background. I want to check that out. Arthur Machen, man. There's a reason Lovecraft was really influenced by him. Now look at here, Eyes of Fire. I've seen this in the video store so many times. I never rented it. I really would like to rent it now, or find it maybe somewhere. Of course they talk about colonialism, but at the same time, colonialism. What you're colonizing this devil's forest with servants, with slaves. Okay, in the plantation, you're planting people to work the land and turn the soil into something to destroy to cut the forests down, like in the the Middle East. So you'll never get that. You'll critique colonialism. Colonialism is still occurring today by those definitions. All right, let's see. Yeah, this actually is a very interesting thing. I'm glad I got this. Right. You talk about Hopkins. I was about to say Bernard Hopkins. The Witchfinder General, their motives, their sadism. Also, they want to get paid for it, hunting out the witches and getting recompense for it, and enjoying seeing people, brutally dispatched, and cast as witches. I can't imagine people today like that, doing that, hunting people down and getting them branded as something. Anyway, so now we come here to the one of the quandaries of the self-negation. How important is it the roots of folk horror cinema lie in Britain, and how much of its British roots are part of its ongoing development? Well, yeah. Because of what literature, it seems to have British roots. But last year, I was preparing a folk horror panel. Damn, you guys got a lot of time. And the scholar Kenitra Brooks was on it. And when I posed something, because she argued that folk horror did not have British roots for her. Okay, well, the whole British, listen, I told you the folk horror is in the Anglosphere countries and some of the European countries. Okay, that's where it comes from, and it can apply to anything. So Kenitra Brooks, probably made a couple of films herself with her own culture. Right, she was actually unaware of most British folk horror. Okay, so she's a scholar. What the hell is she doing on a folk horror panel if she is unaware of British folk horror? Does that make any sense? It makes a lot of sense. Notice that, like, even I react to certain things because I'm still thinking with the old mind, and it's very important to do that, to recognize the discrepancy, and then go the step beyond to realize what you're actually seeing behind the veil, or what's veiled in the words. Okay, it's actually a very fascinating exercise you should do for yourself. Okay, there we go, Haxon, and they bring up all the other films here. Don't Torture a Duckling. Is that really a folk horror thing? I don't really think that counts. Okay, of course the Japanese films. I mean, Qui-Gon is amazing. Yeah. And then Robert Eggers here, Western as in North American or Western as in white European. Okay, so he's using the little W, but the big E. So once again, Eggers is, you never know where he's at. Very smart that he wants to work, Right, because he makes a very obvious thing. White Europeans were pagans, right? So in Europe, there's a different energy, whereas Europeans in America were largely Christian by that time, right? There you go. So let's talk about New England, right? Okay. DFC Sons, you might like this. In The Witch, I was getting a lot of British folklore that have been very much alive in the minds of these Puritan settlers that didn't stick. The hare in The Witch, I have a Scottish friend who would be like, I saw 3 hares and wonder what those witches were doing crossing my lawn. Okay, it's a normal attitude to have in the UK, but we don't have hares in North America. Or at least I don't think they don't have them. I tell you, they don't have them in the Northeast anyway. To get those big ass things out, and jackrabbits out west. So, right, and there's an Anglo-British past. So Robert Eggers is pointing out that it's British is going to be the basis of it, because America, for now, has an Anglo-British past as a plantation. All right, so we go here. Trying to get here. The colonization. The narrow was whether the teller belongs to the land that was colonized or the one that did the colonizing. Okay, now I don't mind. Listen, colonization is the story of humankind. Okay, it's just something that's going to happen. Even the stuff that's happening now is happening. Okay, but you only want to focus on the colonizing that seems to benefit your worldview, which is normal to do. You want to do what is in your interests, right? To be Marxist about it. However, the irony is that the colonization of Africa in the 19th century was not the same as what was going on in the 17th century in the plantations, where you basically took your low-level slaves and threw them to be worked to death into these places with these Stone Age people living nearby who are been decimated by a plague, trying to figure out what they're going to do, and the power games of the planter class. Okay, man, I'm reading way too much Amy Therese Twitter posts. All right, so I talk about Brazil. Brazil was involved in the slave trade like the U.S. Yeah, except they're like 5 million slaves rather than like 400,000. Whatever. It's no tit for tat here. I like this. Is folk horror essentially feminist in your view? I don't think it is inherently feminist. No shit. No kidding. It's not inherently feminist. Okay, it's not using women as pawns for corporations and other people. The power of the feminine is very clear in the pagan world. Okay, more on that later. Okay, see, let me get to the end of this. It's amazing how much time it takes here. Okay, but in the UK, so this, I guess these are British. I mean, it makes sense. But in the UK and Europe with Brexit, man, they keep bringing that Brexit up. They keep popping that in as like a negative. Okay, and of course the that thing that I can't mention. So yeah, whatever. I mean, they're kind of talking about a group of films in a genre that doesn't really exist. Okay, so we'll end it up here with this fella. He's talking about right. And there's other movies in Europe. Obviously, to me, Europe would appeal to me. But hey, I can enjoy Asian horror. I can enjoy horror from all different places. It's amazing. Supposed to be an evil person that doesn't want to do that. So you're the one that wants to mix everything into a friggin' slop of meaninglessness. Okay. Okay, and I like here too. We get the words. Are very careful. They it's like they read what is it? The AP used to put out copy, right? They used to call it copy, where everybody you're gonna write your stories, and these are the keywords you put it. Okay, so again, thinking outside the box, allowing a fluid freedom to evolve and a respectful openness to diverse cultures will be important to folk horror's future. Horror, respectful openness, the freedom, horror, which is the genre that shows you that mankind is nothing compared to the cosmos, and that the greatest evil doesn't even really care about you. You want meaning in your suffering to have some meaning, and the greater horror is that it's as random as the wind. Anyway. So let me call this video up. It's the Halloween season. I'm starting it early. So, and look at these shirts. Oh man, dude, Halloween 3. I gotta get that shirt, man. Halloween 3, Season of the Witch, one of the best movies that ever, in my opinion. Has only gotten better over time. I hated it as a kid. It grew on me like a friggin' I don't know, like a virus or something. So, all right, let's finish this up, man. I'm going way too long with this.